Hey everybody, welcome to Drive Thru Review 499. Today we're going to take a look at Rhino Hero. This is a game from Haba. It's actually a couple of years old at this point, but if you live in the United States like I do, you can actually probably try to find this one nowadays because Haba is starting to bring over a lot of their games, a lot of their kids' games and things over to the United States and distribute them a little bit more readily. So this one you can definitely find and pick it up. I saw it at my friendly local game store and picked it up there. This is a kids game at heart, but I have not played it with kids at all. I've only played it with friends of mine and then folks at conventions and things like that. So all adults playing the game, and it is actually really fun. You actually are stacking cards in a kind of like a reverse Jenga kind of way. So let's take a look at how the mechanics actually work, and then I'll tell you what I think of it. So here's everything that you get in the box. The rulebook itself does come in multiple languages. You have the all-important Super Rhino, the Rhino Hero here, and he will be, I don't know what his job is, we'll get to that in a minute, but he will be sort of jumping up and down on this building that you're going to make. So the building's going to start off either on the easy mode or the more difficult mode, and you can see these lines here, and this is going to dictate how you set out these kind of wall cards. And you'll get these, they'll be flat, and you want to give them a nice little fold to get started before your first game. And then if you're playing the easy mode, you're just going to kind of try to line these up with the general outline of those lines. And you can see obviously on the other side you're going to have a problem because it's just going to be the one line like that, so it'll be a little bit more wobbly and difficult. And then each player is going to get a hand of these cards here, and you get a hand of 5 cards, and you can see they also have these line shapes like so, and they also have these little special abilities. You can see the icons for those in the corner, and these are a little bit more sturdy of a card. You want to be somewhat gentle with these. I wouldn't riffle shuffle these too much, but I have, but over time the spine of the card might degrade a little bit. And definitely don't sleeve them because they'll be super slick. So everybody's going to have a hand of 5 cards, and then on your turn you're going to play one of the cards. So you'll take and play this on top of the building, and then you're going to have to play these walls in that formation. So we'll go ahead and put these on like so. You just try to get it as best you can and line it up generally with that. And then the next player will play their card. So maybe we'll play this card like so. And then you're also going to do the special ability. So let me just set these out here, see if I can do this without knocking it over. But the most interesting special ability, it's kind of difficult doing this one-handed. All right, so like that is going to be this fella here. And you can see there's the Rhino. So when you have that, that means you're going to have to take and put the Rhino there and obviously move him on from a previous card. So if I put this like so, and then I get another Rhino card, the next player here, whoops, is going to then put this on top, and then we'll put these out, and then you've got to go in here, sneak in here, and then take the Rhino and put it on top like that. So the winner of the game is going to be the person that either plays all of their cards, and once they play their last card and build that wall, they'll win. But if another player is playing the cards and knocks it over, then whoever has the least amount of cards in their hand is going to be the winner. And then if there's tiebreakers from there on, whoever has the most special abilities in their hand. So there are other special abilities besides the Rhino. Obviously the Rhino, you play that, and then you have to move it. You have this little exclamation point, which means you skip the next player's turn. You have this card here. If you play this, the next player has to draw a card. And you have a couple more. You've got this one here that will actually reverse order. So instead of going clockwise, you go counterclockwise or vice versa. And this one allows you to play 2 cards. So this is a good card to get because you can see this one doesn't have any walls on it, but I can play this card and then another card on top of it. The only rule with this is you can't do two buys in a row. So I couldn't do 2 of these cards and then a third card. You can only max out at 2 cards. So like I said, you just keep playing until usually the thing falls down, and then whoever has the least cards is the winner, or somebody magically plays all their cards, and then they are the winner. Okay, so that is Super Rhino. As you can see, it's pretty simple. Play a card, put some walls on top, and hopefully don't try to crash the thing. There actually is a rule in the game that if you can build up all of the wall cards, then all the players win collectively. Never have seen that happen. It usually ends up falling down. This game is actually really fun. Obviously, it's very silly, and there's a lot of dexterity component to that. And it has a little bit of a kind of a first player runaway leader problem, because the first player obviously gets rid of their cards earlier. but you can target them, you can skip them, you can reverse turn order, and then you kind of gauge, you know, who is going to maybe knock it over, and so you kind of try to time it to send it back a certain direction. Maybe you have the least amount of cards, and I don't want to oversell like there's a bunch of strategy here, but there is kind of things you can do to sort of mitigate the luck of being in a position to either play a bad card, or you maybe, you know, you just went later in turn order, so you've got more cards, so you have no chance at winning. That really is against the spirit of the game. I think the spirit of the game is just to see how far we can build it without actually, you know, having it fall. But it's super fun and super funny, and it's very interesting. You know, you've got to pull the Super Rhino out and then move him around, and you know, there's kind of like negotiation a little bit. Sometimes it's going to happen. It's like, oh no, don't play it on me. Send it back to, you know, Francesca over there, and, you know, make her play the difficult card because, you know, she's going to, you know, have a lot more difficult time. Or maybe you built one of these walls that's only like the single wall, which is obviously less sturdy than the one that has 2 walls in it and stuff. Anyway, it's really fun. I think you can find it for about 15 bucks. You know, and like I said, I've been seeing the hobby games show up in the local game stores and stuff, so that's really cool. And so you can pick this up. I know at some point it was relatively expensive to find, and there actually is a Giant Rhino. There's a giant version of this game, and the pieces are huge. I mean, there's these massive walls and stuff, and you can build it, I think, like 10 feet high or maybe even higher. And I had a chance to play that actually at Gen Con last year, 2015, and had a lot of fun. And I think the way we played that, it was more just for fun, but we were playing like a timed kind of thing, so we could build it as tall as we could in a certain amount of time in teams. And so we had 3 people on a team. We were building as high as we could, and if it fell down, he just kept building it back up. And then whoever had the highest, you know, building at the end of the time limit was the winner. So that was really fun. You could do something like that too if you had multiple copies of this. You could do like teams of 2 or teams of 3 and just do like a time thing like that, or be the first person to, you know, build the whole thing. So it's really fun, really good. Component quality is really good. You know, I wouldn't be too brutal with it. I mean, it's a $15 game, so you would get, I think, I don't know, I'd say you probably get at least 50 plays out of this before you ruin the cards or made them too flimsy, at least, because I think they are good quality. You know, maybe you might bend these a little too much, and maybe some would tear eventually, but for the price point, you can certainly get enough plays out of it that it's going to be way more than worth it. So anyway, definitely take a look at it. I was trying to, don't touch the table when you are playing the game, because then you can have shenanigans like that. Oh, and you can, some people, if they play without the spirit of the game, they can kind of maneuver the walls in such a way that it's like not quite lined up, or maybe the Rhino is barely touching the little spot where you put him, but then, you know, you just kind of house rule that and kind of make the judgment call. But, you know, don't worry about that. That's no fun. So anyway, take a look at this. You can definitely find it now, so that's really cool. So thanks.